Okay, so I need to give you guys something about planes. Okay. Planes, I claim, are not particularly complicated. What is the important thing you think about planes? What do you guys know about planes at all right now?
They're flat. Horizontal.
Good. They're flat.
Vertical and horizontal axes.
Eh.
Not always the planes could be rotated.
It's not that crucial.
It's not
Even
exactly
space contour lines.
Oh, that's a fair point. We could add that. There are evenly spaced contour lines. Is that enough?
They're parallel lines.
That's enough. So, which are parallel lines? That is enough. That actually means in some ways flat. If you're not totally convinced of that, maybe it would help to fiddle with it a little bit. See if you can draw something. It should be noted actually that we need to maybe add one more thing here, which is just to say that this really should be a continuous surface. You could make some kind of pathological object that had evenly spaced contour lines, which are parallel lines, but it's just made out of steps, right? So it needs to actually be a continuous surface or a continuous function of two variables. You guys see that? Okay. So pathological examples aside, I think this is enough. There's some more characterizations that we'll fill in later as we get tools. So there are two more things, which I will leave here blank because we don't have the tools. I'll advertise where they're going to appear. There's one that's coming out of vector land, and then there's going to be another one that's going to come out of derivative land. Cool. We'll fill those in later.
today, or like yeah.
No, like this one we'll fill in next week, and that one we'll probably fill in a couple days after that.
I just want to know if I need to put spacing notes for today.
No, probably not. Cool? All right. Next thing's next. Equations for said object. Anybody want to guess?
Z equals x and y as a linear.
Okay, so z, maybe as a function of x and y, right, is,
Sum or difference of them as both being linear.
yeah, like there should be some like line stuff here, right? So I might do
AX plus B.
ax plus by plus c or something. You guys kind of with me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Technically.
So I think that probably covers actually more like vector land stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get to vector land, I promise.
Okay.
For right now, I think I might do something slightly different. Okay, so I'm going to make another form of a plane here. I'm going to say z of x and y. Let's see, I'm going to use like mx for the x direction slope. Right? That kind of make sense? And what should mx be multiplied by? I'm making an analogy here for slope-intercept form, by the way.
X
Or
minus-
not, sorry, slope. I'm making an analogy here for point-slope form.
Oh, MX should be multiplied by X.
Yeah, mx, right, is probably the x slope. That should be multiplied by like some kind of change in x. So I'm going to put an x minus x naught here. Is all good?
Okay.
Okay. And then I'm going to add an my for a y slope, right? What's that going to get multiplied by?
Y
Y
minus
minus
y
Y
minus
minus
A y minus y naught?
Why not?
Okay, and so far I have matched, I think, I've got like ax is mx times x, right? and by is going to be my times y. And c has gotten kind of annoying. You guys see that?
Yeah. mx naught.
And what else don't I have here? What's this thing? What is z's value at x naught comma y naught?
Z origin C.
Probably should be z naught, right? Like that would make the most sense. But what is it actually here right now?
C.
I think it's 0, right?
Yeah.
Plus.
Oh, does that
Zero?
have a plus Z naught to the end?
Yeah, so I need a plus z naught at the end. You guys all see that? So really what I'm thinking about with this guy is I'm really kind of thinking y as a function of x is m times x minus x naught plus y naught. Right? Thinking point slope form. And this thing passes through x naught, comma, y naught, comma, z naught. You guys all see this? Questions, concerns, Steele? Okay. What's the analogy of this first guy? That's like y as a function of x is
mx must be.
perfect. Mx plus b. Right, that's slope intercept kind of. You guys with me? Okay. Depending on what we're doing, one or the other of these will be more useful. Or maybe this one. I think we're going to end up using this one a lot. Because we're going to have tools that are going to give us x slopes and y slopes, right? You guys are used to having a tool that gives you what? Yeah, first derivative tools, right? They give you x slopes. So if I came up with an analogy of a first derivative, that would give me a x slope and a y slope. Do I have that today? No, not really. Is that what I'm getting in differential land? Yep. Cool. Questions, Steele? Do you guys want a real life example of a place where this would be used? Okay, here's my real life example. I used this 2 years ago to buy a house. Okay. Crap. How do you spell Ptolemy?
Oh, okay.
Like that?
Yeah.
Ptolemy?
It's just like, I live in Tuolumne, I won't judge you if you misspell it.
Okay, Ptolemy County houses. Kid you not, I made this function. Dollars as a function of SQ comma B
Oh,
I remember this.
is, yeah, I like this example because it's easy to understand, is 65,000 plus 110 SQ minus 10,000 B. It should be noted that I'm remembering this function a little bit, so if you go look at the other video, it might be a little bit different. So what's the issue here? Or what's the goal? Why would I do this? What is the point?
spending some of the money.
Yeah, good. I want to spend an appropriate amount of money maybe for a house, right?
Maybe not.
Yeah, spending the least amount of money on a house is an interesting question. It is not a place I want to live.
That's a place you can live, and that's the important part.
I'm not sure that it is. If you spend the least amount of money I saw a house for was up on Big Hill Road for, I think it was for 30 grand. It was on 3 acres. And it was a burned out trailer. And the 3 acres had the most amazing view I have ever seen. But all 3 acres were over 65 degrees slope. Like, they're 3 acres, but they're like this, man. The only flat spot on it was what this burned out trailer was parked in the middle of. And I kid you not, it wasn't a trailer house, it was a semi-trailer that someone had cut the wheels off of and then lived in for a while before it burned down. It was super neat. At any rate, you can buy that, or you could buy that in Tuolumne County for the least amount of money.
Certain paperwork to look at that house.
I think that counts as a vacant lot.
No, it's worse than a vacant lot because you have to drag this piece of garbage off of it, and the driveway up to it, I'm not sure how they got this semi-trailer up the damn thing, because the driveway was also 65 degrees.
Helicopter.
Well, you just push it off the, once it's steep enough slope, it's probably roll down.
Just push it off and let the neighbors down below sort it out. Okay, anyway, point is, there was this function which was useful in eyeballing prices.
Just want to make sure that's square feet, right? And what is B again?
Good. Okay, so let's ask. So the dollar sign is obviously dollars. Really, this is the sale price, right? And real estate data is public, so you can actually get a hold of some of this stuff. The SQ is square feet, right? And that's of the house, not of the lot that it's on, but square feet of the house. And B is,
Bedrooms and bathrooms?
good, number of bedrooms. It turns out that you can make this same line or this same plane with lots more coefficients. Like you can ask how bathrooms affect this and how acreage of the lot affects this and whatever. It turns out that none of those things are significant in most real estate markets. Really, the ones that matter are square feet and bedrooms, and usually not so much the bedrooms. Like square feet is the big sale price. If you talk to realtors, they'll just be like, yeah, no, around here it's 115 or 125 or $150 a square foot, and that's all they give a shit about. Cool?
You have a negative 10,000
Yeah.
bedroom.
Good. Yeah. Why? So first, let's do the easy one. If you plug in 0 and 0, right? What does that mean in terms of a house? You get a sale price of $65,000, right? But what's the house look like? It's 0 square feet and 0 bedrooms, right?
No.
There's no house, so that's a,
Base cost of the lot.
yeah, that's what a lot costs. 65 G's is about right. Like that's a nice check, right? If I write this little equation, or if I run the statistics software and get an equation that says a lot should cost $400,000, but a lot is only 20, then I know my model's miscalibrated. But if it's 65 and lots are about 65, this is a pretty good model. And it actually is about right. Cool? Okay. What does the 110 mean? Yeah, if you add a square foot of house, right, you're going to expect to pay $110 more. Yeah, a square foot of house is a little weird. Keep in mind, this doesn't work at the edges very well. So if you make like a 4 square foot house, right?
For bedrooms.
I mean, it's like $440, right? That's like a chicken coop, and that's maybe about what a chicken coop costs. Like, this isn't actually horrible, it's just weird. Yeah, please don't make long, narrow houses either. I see that. He's doing this thing. He's like, you could make 2,000 square feet if it was a foot wide, 2,000 feet long. Like, no one wants to live in that, but yeah, you could ask money.
One person.
Okay, so what's the deal with the bedrooms? Why is that thing negative? What are you changing when you're saying we're going to go from 1 bedroom to 2? Yeah, you're kind of gobbling space up, right? And what are you doing to the square feet as you go from B as 1 to B as 2? No, you're not actually changing it, right?
Get rid of
You're-
space you
yeah,
can
you're-
use.
But you're chunking this space up, right? Like if you keep the square footage the same and you add more bedrooms,
You have less square.
right? Like 1,000 square foot house with 1 bedroom is totally useful. With 2 bedrooms is like, I don't know, that's a little tight. And with 4,
Yeah.
no one wants to live in there. It's closets, right? Like the whole house is made of closets.
Like I live in something similar. There's actually a theme. Our bedrooms are smaller than regular bedrooms, and like there isn't a closet. We just kind of have our shelves on the side of the wall. Just,
Yeah, and the sale price, right, on those houses is going to be lower because they're weird.
yep. Really cheap house though.
You guys all kind of understand that? So this, right, this value being negative assumes that you're fixing the other one and changing just that one. If you add a bedroom, how big does it need to be before you don't affect the value of the home? You guys see that? So like, how much bedroom accounts for how much square foot? Like to keep that, you guys see that?
Yeah.
What's that number? Like we could figure it out. How many square feet do you have to add to pay for getting another bedroom?
91.
Yeah, it's just under 100, right?
Yeah. I think
If you're adding a bedroom that's smaller than 100 square feet, it's not useful,
it's 91.
90.9.
right? So it's got to be bigger than 90 square feet. If you're making additions and you're putting bedrooms in, they've got to be bigger than 90 square feet because otherwise the house is just weird, right? And no one wants to buy weird. You guys kind of playing along? Okay, so this is one place you would use these planes, right? This is what's called multilinear regression. Do this in like an advanced statistics class. You also do this every time you get a dose of a drug from a doctor. They look up your height and weight in a table and then prescribe you a dosage. Why are they looking up your height and your weight?
Yeah.
So yeah, like weight seems like it would be plenty, right? But why the height? Well, some drugs are fat soluble, right? So if you're this tall and you weigh 200 pounds, that's a different kind of person than this person who's this tall and weighs 200 pounds, right? And so there's some difference in how that drug is absorbed in their body. You guys see that? And it really will be straight up like, for an inch in height, the dose goes up this, but for 10 pounds in fat, the dose goes down by some other amount. You guys cool with that? Questions, concerns, deals on plans?
That would be a dosage as a function of height and weight.
Yeah, good. That'd be like this. That'd be dose as a function of H and W. Right? And you guys use these all the time, you just don't think about them this way.
Yep.
Like you guys think of your tuition bill, right? As a function of the number of credits you're taking plus what?
Books
Plus books,
plus gas.
plus all this other stuff, right? And all of those things, right, have variables that, or have numbers that you can assign for your specific case and kind of get this ballpark number. Cool? Questions? All right, that's what I'm going to give you on plans. Plans are really something you should practice with and play with. If you run across another nice example of a plane in the next few days, say so. I would love to talk about another real world example. We can make up some more, but it would be cool to have one of you guys run across one. Look for, where did my phone chart go? Look for it, anytime you're doing this, look for a table that looks like this. Numbers, 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 numbers. If you see a table that looks like this, you're looking at a plane. Another, for instance, table that looks like this is how we get paid here. The teachers here we're all on a pay schedule. You can all go look it up if you want. There's education across this top. From left to right, there's steps in education. And then vertically, there's years of teaching experience. And so you just find your spot, right? You go to however you were educated and then however what step you are. And then in here, there's like what you make in a year. Cool. If you look at the one for YCCD faculty, it's in there's 3 or 4 separate plans, because at first they give you bigger raises every year, and then they give you slightly smaller ones, and then slightly smaller ones. So it's actually 3 pieces of a plan.